Xtar has a new compact battery charger out on the market that doubles as a power bank. This is an update to last year's PB2 and addresses many of the criticisms of the previous model. I was pretty excited to get this in and show you on the channel. Thanks to Xtar for sending this to me to take a look at and review. Here is the packaging the light comes in, or the charger for that matter. And it's a white package similar to what Xtar has done in the past. You get the charger and power bank there. On the back you get some statistics, lots of languages here. Very simple what it includes. You get a USB-C to USB-A cable. This is a quick charge cable. And then you get the charger power bank here itself. Just some quick stats here on the back. You've got input, it can do quick charge 3.0 and PD 3.0 and 5 volts 2 amps, 9 volts 2 amps, 12 volts 1.5 amps. Output, it can charge batteries 2 amps on 2 slots, 2 amps on 1 slot, or 1 amp on 2 slots. USB output, QC3, PD3, and 5 volts 2 amps, 9 volts 2 amps, and 12 volts at 1.5 amps. So pretty nice that they put that on the bottom as well. So the construction here, it's made of a soft touch plastic for the most part, and I like this. It doesn't show fingerprints very well, but it will kind of mar, and it just it's a nice finish. The screen up here in the front is this, it's a plastic underneath, and it almost is a little bit unclear, and I don't say that in a bad way. It just makes me want to wipe it and make sure there wasn't a film on it at first when I got that. Mine here is in black. There are 3 other colors available: blue, yellow, and red. That's an exclusive at Illumn. What I'm going to call the top here of the charger, you've got the screen that I mentioned before, and this shows a few different things. Right now it's just showing output. The cover here is magnetic, and it's got a little nail nick here to help you pry it off. It's held on with 2 magnets on either side. Inside we've got the batteries, and this is an addition that they've added on this model, is this little piece of cloth here. This makes taking out these larger batteries a lot easier. These are 21700 batteries, but all 18650s also fit. That'll show here in a minute. We've got the positive terminals up at the front there. Then we've got these new spring-loaded terminals. These are pretty stiff and are designed to make low resistance and a nice little touch there. But as I was mentioning, 18650 batteries fit in here as well. They're not quite as secure, and I've got a bit of footage here where I'm dropping this with 18650s in and 21700s, and it just depends on the situation, but I'm dropping from about waist height onto carpeted floor, and my 18650s like to pop out sometimes. And the 21700s seem to fit a little bit better in there. But they come out pretty easily. That cloth there is a nice addition. They go in real easy. The only bad thing here is protected 21700s will not fit in here, but then it just snaps on like that. On the front here, you have your inputs and outputs. Your output only here is your quick charge 3.0. Use that cable or any other you have to charge your devices. If you had a quick QC, if you had a normal cable, this would also charge micro USB as well. Your input power is only USB-C, and it can also output USB-C. And that's primarily how I've been using it. So here I've got the Xtar PB2S, and I'm gonna demonstrate kind of how it works as a charger. I found it to be a pretty good charger with minor complaints. Input power either can be USB-C, and input values accepted are 5 volts at 2 amps, about 10 watts speed, 9 volts at 2 amps, 18 watts, or 12 volts at 1.5 amps, 18 watts. And I've got this plugged into an Aki power bank that I reviewed earlier in the year. If you haven't seen that one, you should do so. You can see it's charging 9 volts, 2 amps on the nose. And right now it's charging those 2 18650s, no problem. You can swap in 18650s or mix and match your combinations there. One thing to charge is this does not work for protected 21700 batteries. There isn't an ability to change your charging speed here, which isn't a problem for these larger batteries like you see here, but could be for smaller 18650s. I saw when I was charging 18650s, it started a little bit aggressively at about 2.4 amps, only one, but then that dropped to a more safe 2 amps over the first 10 minutes. As I mentioned, that's not a concern with 21700s. And both bays stopped charging at exactly 4.2 volts in my testing. If I push the button here on the screen, you can see it'll tell you the status on bay 1. So bay 1 here is battery's currently at 3.8 volts, it's charging at 1.9 amp. I push it again, and battery bay 2 is the same thing. It seems to keep them pretty balanced. That 1.9 amp seems to be for roughly both bays, since it's total doing 2.1 here. We push it 1.9, it says 1.9 here as well. So math isn't always correct on here, but it's pretty close. Charging times via the two different power sources varied a little bit and was close in my testing. QC3 edged out USB-C ever so slightly by about 5 minutes. And average charging time on two 4200 milliamp hour 21700 batteries was 3 hours. So as a power bank, I did testing with my Samsung Note 8 recently with the power bank, and with the PB2S at 100%, and my phone at 50%, I started charging with fast charging enabled, as we can see what we've got going on here. And it took just an hour to reach 100% on my phone and drained the power bank to 77%. One thing to note is that it'll charge both your phone and the batteries at the same time. So to accomplish this, I used the other cable that the charger came with, plugged into the USB A side via QC3, plugged the USB-C side into a USB-C to C charger. Ended up using an Aki little 18 watt charger that I like these days. And it charged both the batteries and my phone at the same time, so that's kind of nice. One other nice thing that Xtar did was they gave the charger the ability to charge at low current, like headphones here that I've got. Unfortunately, I didn't bring the correct cable with me to video that, but with the power bank off, you press and hold this button and plug in your cable, and that will allow the charger to go into low power mode, and then you can unplug it and reset it if you'd like. So that's a nice touch. That's not something all power banks do. Using these two Xtar 21700 batteries for my efficiency testing, and having previously tested the cells, I knew ratings were pretty accurate, and my efficiency test drew 5 volts at 2 amps for 2 hours and 33 minutes, resulting in 26.19 watt hours of useful energy. That means, at least in my test, this power bank was about 87% efficient, which is pretty good. It gets a little bit warm up here, but not too bad. Low voltage protection kicked in very evenly between the cells at 3.221 volts on the left and 3.201 volts on the right. So for me, the pros are, I like that it has a display that shows each pair of battery statuses when charging, and I like how it acts as a power bank for both pair. I like that it has a low power charge mode for low current devices like wireless headphones and fitness trackers, and I like that it can be used as a power bank while charging as well. The cons for me is that magnetic cover isn't the most secure when it's dropped using 18650 batteries. You almost need a rubber band around it to give it just a little bit of extra security. That's easy enough to do, and it's not a problem if you're using 21700. Protected 21700s are too long to be used inside this, and the LCD values vary a little bit and don't always match up my external meter. My conclusion is the Xtar PB2S is a nice update on the first PB2 to take advantage of now the more popular 21700 battery size. The downside is it's a little bit larger, and I can kind of show that with a dollar bill here. It's kind of just a little bit big. I like that the screen gives you a good amount of information that you want to know, but I found myself kind of wiping it to make sure it was clear, and that's just the plastic material over it. I find this size to be a little bit big for its capacity. In its current form, this is only 8400 milliamp hours with these batteries, and you can find 10,000 milliamp hour batteries that are smaller. That said, this is going to be my new charger to take traveling, because I can use it as a power bank and I can use it as a charger, and it's by far one of the smallest dual bay chargers that I have, and it's USB-C for input and output, so I can go traveling and only take one USB-C charger if I wanted to. That said, its strength is really as a combination device to charge your electronic devices and your batteries for flashlights and vapes at the same time for a really low price of under $20 at the time of this review. It's one I like and will find myself using quite a bit. If you're interested in picking up the Xtar PB2S, check the description for a link to where you can pick this up. It's available in lots of countries at many retailers. And if you want the exclusive red version with the red screen and red numbers, as well as red body, make sure you hit up Illumn, as they're the exclusive retailer for this here in the US. As always, guys, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them. Make sure you check out the description for links on where you can pick this up if you're interested. And as always, I appreciate likes and shares as they continue to help me to bring videos like this to you. Thanks.